Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday call. This is Wednesday night, May the 18th, and we have some exciting news to share with you. What we want to do tonight is I want to talk with you a little bit and introduce to you Robert, who is the formulator of Viprox. Robert comes to us from Canada, our neighbor to the north, up in Ontario. And I actually met Robert almost 20 years ago. And I just have to tell you the story real quick. And the reason why we selected Robert to be a vendor, asked him to be a vendor right away, is because of that relationship from 20 years ago. I had met Robert, and it was at a time when my dad had just had to sell his business because he had arthritis so bad he was all crippled up. He was my dad was 72 years old, and he had a sewing machine business for years, but had to sell it. Couldn't hardly sleep. Tried to get a few hours of sleep at night in the recliner, in a lot of pain, and just couldn't seem to get any relief from it. And this product was introduced to the company I was with, and so I took it over to my dad and gave him the product and said 3 scoops a day, and he did it exactly to the letter. 3 scoops a day. And 2 weeks later, I stopped by the house and was talking to my mom. I said, where's Dad at? She said, he's out behind the garage moving cement blocks.
Oh my.
And I said, what? I couldn't believe it. I ran out there. I was afraid he was going to hurt himself. And I got out there, and there's my dad standing up straight. He's not all crippled and bent over. And he said, Keith, I feel like a new man. And I just I was shocked. But what I did, I said, let's get in the car tomorrow morning. You take me to all of your Amish customers and Mennonite customers that have bought sewing machines off of you. Anybody you know that's got arthritis, pain, or anything like that. And we did that. And over the next 2 years, my dad made a 6-figure income with this product. Now, unfortunately, that company mismanaged everything and lost that product. But my dad stayed on it. You know, I went on to do some other things, and probably not the wisest thing I've ever done. I got off the product, but my dad stayed on it, and he's 92. He just had his 92nd birthday on the 7th of May.
Wow.
And my dad has not contracted COVID, even though everybody around him got it. He's in great health. His eyesight has improved. My dad no longer wears glasses to read, which is just amazing. I've never heard that happen between the ages of 72 and 92. So anyway, that was the reason why I thought, when we're looking for vendors, I wanted to get Robert. And it's been great reestablishing a relationship with Robert. I want to introduce him to you now. Again, this gentleman actually developed this product we're going to talk about for the AIDS crisis in Africa 22 years ago when he heard about it. And he can tell you a little bit more about that. But this product is absolutely an immune system support product. I believe it's the finest health product out there that I've ever seen. But Robert, I'd like to introduce you and tell us a little bit about your product and why it works so well.
All right, Keith, thanks for the intro. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your busy lives to be able to come here. Keith's intro is quite amazing when you hear a 92-year-old man that's regained his eyesight. And I know that some of you are going to think, this is too good to be true. I'm not going to go back as I usually do in time and prove to you that, a lot of things that we believed back then were impossible to happen. And today they're gospel truth. But I will say something though. Trust in the person that invited you here tonight. That person has your best interest at heart. So inevitably, they wouldn't bring it to something that is not true. Everything we're going to be discussing tonight is actually documented. It is a clinically proven therapy on the World Health Organization standard, and we give 98.9% efficacy to the end user. Now, talk to anybody in marketing, and then ask them 98.9% efficacy, they're going to say it's impossible. Well, it's proven. It was peer reviewed by 2 US universities, and basically it is also patented, which is, for some people, it's very important. For us, I believe, the proof is in the pudding, and tonight we're going to give you some of that proof. So the name of the product, it's called Viprox. V in French stands for life, and prox for a proximity to a quality of life. That's what we guarantee. Unless you get an undeniable result that you would like to share this with family and friends, we will give you back your money. That's how confident we are about what we can do for you and for your loved ones.
Well, you know, what I'd like to do at this point, Robert, before you go too much further, if this is okay, would this be a good time to play that little intro video?
I think so. I think it's a nice, a nice setting. Yeah, I believe so. Go ahead.
Okay, let me connect the sound real quick. All right, guys.
This pandemic, we have finally realized how important our body's immunity is. But do you know the cells in your body are constantly exposed to such harmful threats daily? Bacteria, viruses, parasites, EMF radiations all interact with these cells and try to disable their day-to-day functionalities. You can imagine this as a house that is under a constant threat of intruders, such as termites that are eating it away from its foundation. How will you prevent this from happening? Introducing the GSH Complex by SimCorp. GSH Complex is a very minimally processed tripeptide complex made from fresh dairy whey. It is the highest bioavailable whey protein on the market, has no side effects, and contributes to your health in a variety of ways. Developed using a unique proprietary Provida CBE process, it helps you optimize your immune system by increasing the production of intracellular glutathione. But what exactly is glutathione? Glutathione is known as the master antioxidant that neutralizes oxidative stress and protects your cells from aging and the attack of toxic foreign particles. Whenever an unwanted substance enters through the cell membrane, the GSH compound binds itself to it, prevents its replication, and renders it water-soluble. It neutralizes the effects of EMF radiations by conjugating and changing their structure, which enables detoxification at an intracellular level. Additionally, it properly balances your immune system, upregulates when attacked by viruses, parasites, and bacteria, and downregulates for pre-existing hyperautoimmune activities in the same organism for a nice balanced immune system. The GSH complex assures the proper functioning of every single cell in your body. It permits your trillions of cells to regain their intrinsic ability to heal, so your healthy cells take care of the tissue, which in turn takes care of the organ and its dysfunctionalities. Want to know more? Visit us at www.simcorp.ca today.
You know, Robert, that video is very, very powerful and very, it's a great explanation of the GSH compound. But what I'm seeing in this Viprox is it actually has three parts to the Viprox therapy. So maybe I'll let you go ahead and just take it from here a little bit and tell us, you know, what all this does.
All right. Well, first, let's address the foundation, which is the GSH complex, because a lot of people, might be, well, you're talking about Viprox and then you show us a video on GSH complex. Well, first of all, it's because the other videos are coming, but the foundation is important for people to understand something. There's a premise that we want people to understand, that you're all made up of energy and cells. That's very important, 150 trillion cells. So GSH complex is there for your cellular structure. If your cells are healthy, as the video says, then inevitably the cells will take care of the tissue and the tissue will take care of the dysfunctionality, which is very important because modern science and the Western medicine basically like to attack diseases. They're in the disease management business. We're not. We're in the cellular health business, which is very important because before we get going, I want people to understand something. We're not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. It would be illegal for us to do so and too complicated for everybody who want to start promoting this and help their family and friends. Understand that you're made up of energy and cells, that if we take care of these cells, the cells will take care of the tissue and the tissue will take care of the dysfunctionality of your organs. It's that simple. So it's not the product doing the work. The product is the triggering factor. Your body is what does the healing process, not reaction, which is important because if you look at big pharma, they identify a molecule and then that molecule will attack another molecule in your body. Example, you got a headache, you take an aspirin, then inevitably, there's an attack, and then, it goes away. Except you get receptor sites throughout your body, and then they recognize this as being an antigen, foreign substance, and then you have side effects. This is why if you watch TV at night, in Canada anyways, they have class action suit against, pharmaceutical products because of these receptor sites that say, hey, we don't like this being in our system. When it comes to Viprox, it's a total new approach. We will empower your body to do what it was supposed to do, and that is to be disease-free. You see, one's an attack and the other one's an empowerment. One is a reaction, the other one is a process. And when a process is done, it's long-lasting. It goes at the root cause. So that's what we're going to be treating you holistically instead of attacking the disease. How do we do that? Well, the very first component, as you can see, has three major functions. The very first one is to neutralize the oxidative stress. What is that? When you breathe, you rust like a nail. If you don't breathe properly, as when you're stressed, then you rust faster. And I really mean this, people. You got to understand. Just understand that inside your body, you are rusting like a nail. That's an aging process, but it has all sorts of side effects that really damage your cells, and then these cells will inevitably, I think that one of them we have to address is people who are fatigued, burnt out, depressed. This is something that today 90% of the population is living with, and that is created by stress. Stress is 80% of disease. Now imagine that we neutralize this ill effect on your cells, and then we excrete that out of your system. Just try to be graphic. You can see now you got nice, healthy cells, and they're not being attacked. That's very important. So that's the very first function of the GSH complex. Second function is to rebalance the immune system. I know the video said so, but people, you say, well, why rebalance the immune system? I want my immune system to be boosted. No, you don't. That's the worst thing you can have. If you have asthma, allergies, lupus, MS, all these autoimmune hyperactivity, diabetes, in H1N1, people were buying oregano oil left and right. It was cheap, $20 a bottle. It was there to boost the immune system, except it was damaging people who had these autoimmune dysfunctions. Look at today, children are born, and in a few months, they have allergies already. They have asthma. And then when you boost their immune system, you're damaging the process. What we do is we upregulate for, viral infection, like what we're living with right now, bacteria, and we can downregulate in the same organism to give you a nice balanced immune system. Just listen to the words, nicely balanced immune system. If you go on TV and you look at they'll say, we'll boost your immune system. We're going to do this for you. I mean, there's an attack there. We want it nice and balanced.
Robert, I've heard you say a couple of times that there really is no such thing as disease as far as you're concerned. And you talk about prosperity being all these different areas, of bringing everything into balance. Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Sure. When we say there are no diseases, that's a shocker. We want people to get their attention, because these are words. According to us, diseases don't exist because they're cellular dysfunctions. Just think about it. Science has given, a certain condition a word to identify it. But if we look at the root cause of it all, it's still a cellular dysfunction. So yet again, we go back to the premise that if we take care of the cells take care of the tissue, and tissue takes care of the organ, then we don't, as individuals, have to address any disease. We're not going to make doctors out of people on the line tonight. They just have to understand that, well, okay, so I'm dysfunctional in my cellular structure. If this product puts the cells back in a state of balance, then inevitably I should get better. That's all they need to know. Okay, now, how do we define health? That's very important also, because we define health as not the mere absence of disease, that's big pharma, but total spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial well-being. So if you understand this, then the product itself can take care of at least two of these functions, which is, the emotional and the physical aspect. And joining with NetQ Marketplace, then for those who are interested, at one point in time, if you want to make a certain living out of this, if you want to make some kind of income, then we welcome you to join the platform and be able to, get the benefit of income. Why is income so important? Because nowadays, stress is 80% disease. And then if you look in the United States right now, people are so afraid that, there's going to be a recession, which they say it's not. But basically, whether it is or it isn't, the fear is causing a lot of people to get sick. So they can have a nice supplemental income by promoting something that has value. So that's basically what we have to offer. So the last, but I will finish. Last of the 3 elements for the GSH complex is we will detoxify at a cellular level. Very important, because nowadays, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the food that we eat is actually very toxic. Now, I was watching, I asked you last week, I believe, if you knew what PFOA and PFOS were. And it's actually in your state that there was a very big lawsuit against Dow Chemicals for Tefal, those frying pans. 99% of the population has what we call PFOA and PFOS, which basically are carcinogens. 99% of the world's population, even in underdeveloped countries where they never had one of these frying pans, they do have it in their system. And there was a big lawsuit because Dow Chemicals in your state had hidden the fact that basically they were poisoning the water systems, and it was settled for $907 million or something like that. Point in case, we detoxify these toxins out of your system. A lot of people are afraid of the jab, the effect of the jab. Well, it has been documented lately in Spain that GSH will bind to the components in the jab, in the vaccine, and then will render it water soluble to excrete from your system. So there is a silver lining at the end of that tunnel, because we can actually detoxify at a cellular level. So at this stage, we have nice, healthy cells.
That's really interesting, Robert. The GSH is the foundation, but tell me what these other 2 things do. I see a bottle of water there. I see some another little thing of enzymes, I guess. So can you tell us about why that's in there?
Yes, very important. See, people think, well, I got healthy cells, I'm okay. No, we're going to treat you holistically. Remember, that's what I said at the beginning. We're going to treat you holistically. We're not going to go and attack a certain condition. Well, there are 3 elements necessary to sustain life. Everybody knows what they are: the air that you breathe, the water that you drink, and the food that you eat. What about if we brought all 3 of these elements to peak performance? And that's what we're going to do. So the second element, called une vie, one life in English, is a water treatment system, which basically will change the molecular structure, of the water that you put it in. And we will hydrate the interior of your cells up to 10 times more. For a diabetic, can be 13.2 times more. Now, a lot of people tell me, so what? Well, so what? Everything happens inside your cells. When you drink water, you actually hydrate the exterior of your cell. That doesn't do much for you. And then what we want to do is use that same water structure to bring in the benefit of the GSH inside the cells and to excrete the toxins. Now, people say, so what if I have toxins in my cells? Wow, you got over 1 million water molecules per second that need to communicate in your system. If you slow it down, then your metabolism goes down, you put on some weight, you get sluggish, your lymphatic system is not working as well. Can you see graphically how you're going downwards? When you rebuild with the right hydration, then everything goes in the right direction. We actually did a live blood analysis of people who had rouleau effects. People don't know what it is, but when we take a live blood analysis, we can tell that your blood cells are all stacked up one on top of the other. You drink this product, and then within 10 minutes, the cells start moving at 1 million miles an hour. I'm exaggerating, but fast. which brings back your metabolism. Very important for what we have to offer. So there's many things we should say. I mean, women are 72% water. You want nice skin, drink the best water available. So in our patents though, this is there for a delivery system to get the GSH into the cells and get the toxins out. So now we got healthy cells. We got, the air that we breathe is not damaging us as it used to. We have, cells that are well hydrated. Last but not least, Keith, is the old adage that says, you are what you eat. And a lot of people, and you and I know what that is, because we had Whataburger at 1 o'clock in the morning when I was in Texas. And trust me, that's very tough on you. But point in case, these enzymes, which by the way, life starts with an enzymatic function. Everything is about enzymes, whether you want it or not. The thought that you might have, the sexual drive, the heat of your body, the energy that you have during the day, it's all enzymes. So these enzymes are metabolic and they are digestive, meaning, pardon me, that when you take this, you will assimilate up to 5 times more nutrient than someone not taking it. Right there, 5 times more nutrients going at the right place in your system, which is very important, because if you have, let's say, a sore elbow, then your body is trying to, steal a vitamin A from your next elbow, and you're always out of whack, always. And then when you start taking this regularly, it will actually just rebalance all your vitamin deficiencies and then put your body back in a state of balance, and it will alkalinize your digestive tract. People don't know this, but cancer and diseases don't live in an alkaline environment. All of these put together are a patented and clinically proven therapy for the treatment of what we call a host immune system and host immune system related diseases. Point in case, you said at the beginning, Robert invented this for Africa. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, Africa, because they have AIDS and we don't have AIDS, so we don't need this. No, nobody dies of AIDS, Keith. People die of opportunistic diseases because their immune system is compromised. Back then, it was the AIDS. Then it was H1N1, SARS, the Asian flu, COVID-19. But in the United States, worse than all of this put together, lifestyle. Lifestyle is hurting your immune system. And all of these diseases like diabetes, like chronic fatigue, like you name it, high blood pressure, all of these things. If you take care of your lifestyle and then you go on Viprox, we guarantee results within 1 month of use. It's that simple.
That's a great place to break in here. I have to tell you that I had been off this for a long, long time, even though I had used it before. I got on it, and I had a situation where I'd been having headaches for 2.5 years. Many of my friends know about it, prayed over me many, many times. I tried so many things to get rid of them. A little over 30 days on this product, and I realized my headaches were gone. I was shocked. Then next thing I discovered is that my blood pressure now normalized. I actually was in for a checkup at the doctor a little over a week ago, and I couldn't believe my blood pressure, 131/79. Then 2 days later, they took it again, 138/80. And since I fell off a roof 10 years ago, my blood pressure's never been under about 145 or 150/90 or 95. That second number was pretty high. And so I tried different things to take care of it, and I'm just amazed. This has now normalized my blood pressure. But I'm certainly not the only one here. I want to introduce you to a couple people on the call that have been using the product and are getting some great results. And you never know what kind of result, what the body's going to fix first, so to speak, because the body heals itself if it gets the right stuff. So the right stuff, listen to me, the right substrates. But I want to go first to Terry. We've got Terry on the line here. Dan, if you can make sure she's unmuted. Terry Baker from down in the Tampa area, Tampa, Florida. You there, Terry?
I'm here, Kate. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you just share what your situation was before you started with Viprox and what's happened?
Sure. Last June, I had 3 acute strokes, and my heart stopped, and they put an emergency pacemaker in. And before that, I was, very healthy. I was working out 3 times a week and did a dance class every Sunday. And I've always been really active. And this really took the wind out of my sails big time. So the first thing they want to do, these neurologists, these neurocardios, they want you to get in what I would call the pill mill. They want you to start taking all these blood thinners and all of these things that I just don't think are healthy. And I know because mine was not caused from high blood pressure, it was caused from AFib, where the heart misfires. And so I know it's extremely important that I get my blood down thin. So I did find a good product to do that, but it made me sicker than a dog. And I was determined to make it work. And I took it every day, and every day I had diarrhea. And every day I was so nauseated where your mouth just waters all day long. So you're always sticking a cracker or something in your mouth to keep from throwing up. So I went through that probably about four months or so. And I was beginning to think that I wasn't going to be able to tolerate it, but I know I need it. And that's when I began to take this product. And I find that it's done multiple things, but the first thing that it did for me was when 3 days of taking the triozymes, the enzymes for food, the nausea completely stopped and the diarrhea stopped. And it was like 3 days and it stopped, and it has stayed stopped. And then, and for me, I was out at a place where this was getting really serious for me, thinking about having to take those drugs that I don't believe in. So that has made a world of difference. The other thing is that my dad passed away on Mother's Day. So I was concerned about the stress levels again, making things, go out of whack. But the triozymes hung right in there. Also, I was really kind of concerned that I have a lot of pain in my eyes. It knocked out all my peripheral vision as well, but no optic nerve damage. So I've been using the eye cup. And because even though it did not affect the optic nerve, it did blow out some nerves in the eyeball that makes it pretty painful. So I have days that my eyes just feel like they're on fire. So I believe that doing the GSH, using the cup right in my eyes, settles down that crazy inflammation that it hits when I have to be in front of the computer all day. I've spent 10 or 12 hours, knocking out my work. So I think that's been extremely helpful. And I believe this taking the GSH made a huge difference in just how I handle stress for the last, 5 or 6 days, because usually I just feel completely zapped, and I made it through at a better pace than I thought that I would. So I think overall it's every one of the products are very important. And of course you need that water. I always make sure that I use just that water mixture, what goes into my eyes, and make sure that, the water that you're mixing it with is always, the very best as well. So I always have to say it changed my life. And I really think I was really at the fork in the road that I was going to have to make some really seriously bad decisions. So this has really been a lifesaver for me.
Wow.
Well, Terry, I wish we could see, I know your video is not on. I wish we could see your face, because the other thing I noticed is that you look so much better. Your skin looks healthier. And maybe your video is not working, but anyway, I know I can tell make a big difference. And I believe, I don't know if Greg's on there or not, but Greg, it made a difference in your skin, right?
Greg couldn't be here, so it's me, and I don't have an option. I've got an option to mute and raise a hand and a Q&A. And I show there's a recording and it shows I'm talking, but it doesn't show anything
There
about
should be one there to click on to show your video, but that's all right. It's all right. We'll just keep moving on here. Lori, if you can come on, I know you're on your phone today. You said you had to be on your phone, but you wanted to share what happened when you started taking the product. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Keith. Thanks for having me on. Thank you, Robert. I'm really enjoying the product. I'm 64 and a half years old. I am very blessed to enjoy incredible health. Keith knows me pretty well. I spend hours literally every day on my emotional, spiritual, and physical wellness. I Qigong, I meditate, I have a sauna. I do bioelectromagnetic energy regulation therapy daily, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I work out, walk with my 82-year-old mother most days when it's nice for at least a half an hour. So and I have great energy. So I wasn't real sure what it would do for my energy, but what I did notice is about 2 weeks in, I was out working in my yard doing some landscaping, and spring in Ohio, you've got to get after all the weeds, et cetera, or they'll just take over the place. So I told Keith, from 8 o'clock until 4:30 one day. It was very warm, and I stopped 45 minutes for lunch. That's it. And at the end of the day, what I noticed was I was just tired of working because I was tired of working. I'd just been at it all day, but I was not exhausted or physically. I could have gone on for probably another hour or two, which was amazing to me. But the thing that I was most excited about is that about 15 years ago, I developed a fungus under one of my big toe on my right foot. And my doctor at the time said, well, he knows me. I do holistic, everything that I possibly can using essential oils, herbs, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, I could give you, I could write you a prescription, but you probably won't take it. I said, yep, you're right. So he said, well, you could try Melaleuca, tea tree oil, but it'll take a long time, and, no guarantees. And I was never able to get rid of that fungus. And in fact, it got worse over the years. To the point where the nails were becoming very hard, not just on my right foot, but then on my big toe on the left foot. And then it gradually started going to my other toes. My toenails were orangish and yellow and thick and ugly. And I haven't worn sandals in years, but I did get an infection in a tooth. And so I had to take an antibiotic, and actually had developed to the point where I was getting little black spots. I had little lumps on the worst toe, where it started. And those spots were black, which I knew was not healthy and was very upsetting to me. But again, it was what it was. But I had to take antibiotics for that same tooth twice within a 13-month period. So it cleared it up, and then 13 months later I had to take it again. And what that antibiotic did was it did get rid of the black spot, but nothing else. But I was at least relieved about that. But the thick nails, ugly orange and yellow and just gross, never went away. I'm really excited to say that a month in, all my toenails are white. The thickness is really dissipating. And that first nail, for the very first time, the growth is, and my toenails take forever to grow, but the new growth, about 1/3 of the nail now of the new growth is clear. So I'm thrilled to death, because I know that it's clearing it up. There's nothing else that I've done in all these years. I've tried light therapy. I've just tried everything, and nothing besides the antibiotic made any difference, but only a small difference. And this is actually the Viprox.
Wow.
is clearing it up.
Hey, Lori, this is Dan. I'm tired just listening to how busy your day is.
Well, believe me, what you guys do is much more exhausting, in my opinion, than anything I do physically.
Well, that's a great testimonial, Lori. And I know it's just amazing to think that it would take care of the fungal problem like that.
Yes,
but
we're talking almost 2 decades of a problem.
in 30 days, you're noticing that much difference.
Yes.
That's amazing. Robert, why is that?
Robert, you're muted. You can unmute yourself there, sir.
Can
There
you
go.
hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yep.
Yeah, I know this is going to be a simplistic answer for most people on the line, but that's what it is. It's a cellular dysfunction. So we rebalance the organism and we let the organism do what it's supposed to do, and it's to evict certain conditions. And in this case, it was a fungal infection that the system could not overcome. Now, it's happened that this is the second case that I've hear of this. One was a gentleman in England who told me the same thing, which I wasn't sure that it was true, but now this is the second case. It cannot be, not true. So I'm very happy. It's just we rebalance the organism. That's all we do. And I say this with all reserve, because a lot of people want to attribute all of these benefits to the product. It's not the product. The product triggers what your body was supposed to do. And then with the help of the divine, and I know some people don't like, but this is the truth, you can only heal with God's help and if your body is well balanced.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Wow, that is amazing. Well, we've went long enough here, and thank you everybody for hanging on and listening to all these testimonials. We're excited about this product. I just have a vision here that we can really help people change their wellness. I mean, the wellness factor is amazing. And when you're not healthy, it's really hard to be productive in any other way, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. And so it's very, very important to have a foundation of health to be able to do anything else. And so what we have here with Viprox, I want to just quick highlight. Dan showed you the picture earlier of the product. Robert has a couple of specials here. The product is normally $235, but as an introductory thing on our website, it's now $199.95 for a 1 month supply. Or for those of you that are really serious about getting healthy and also sharing this with others, he actually has a second one there right beside it that is you buy two and you get a third one for free. So you buy two, you get a third one for free. You can use those two if it's husband, wife, whatever, but you have a third one to share with somebody else in your family, your circle of friends, your relationships that really needs to have their health changed. And we want to encourage you to get on these calls and invite your friends, invite people. If they have questions, if they're skeptical, bring them on the call. Let's get their questions answered. And I'm just challenging everybody, bring a guest or two guests. In fact, you better start with more than one, because if you invite three, maybe one will show up. So bring them to the call next week. Let them hear this. We do it every Wednesday night. And also on Saturdays, many times we have some trainings, and many times Robert joins us to help answer questions. And we will get your questions answered, and you will get results from this. Remember, you either get results or you get your money back. That's pretty amazing. So thank you so much, Robert. Thank you, Dan. Thanks everybody who shared testimonials. Good night. We're going to end the recording.